Welcome back to Strength and Health for Life, where we teach you to cycle. What? Cycle what? Carb cycle! Hello, and welcome to day 39 of our weight loss journey together. Before we begin, I ask that you please click that like button down below, subscribe to this channel, and watch the video all the way through. So carbohydrates tend to be a hot topic when it comes to weight loss and going on a weight loss journey. In fact, I think carbs have always been a hot topic. People are always worried about what to do with them in their diets. Some diets cut out the carbs completely. This really isn't healthy or sustainable, unless you want to destroy your kidneys. Other diets limit the number of carbs you have quite heavily. Now this isn't necessarily bad, but is it really the most efficient way to handle carbs? Nope! With this in mind, some people have begun to cycle their carbohydrate intake. This is known as carb cycling. I've actually received some requests to do this very video on carb cycling. You asked for it, and so I deliver. So what exactly is carb cycling? Let's take a closer look together. Carb cycling isn't necessarily a diet in itself, it's more of an approach to dieting. Therefore, it can be used with most any diet that you're currently on. Yes, even the flex diet. Now this approach alternates your carbohydrate intake on a daily, weekly, or monthly cycle. It can be used to speed up fat burn or overcome a weight loss plateau. The goal is to time your carb intake so that you have higher carbs when you need them and lower carbs when they are not needed. There are many ways to set your cycle, so it's best to set your cycle to whatever fits your goals more clearly. So if you were to utilize carb cycling, what should you set yours to? How should I know? I don't read minds. I'll go over a few ways to set your cycle. This will allow you to pick from a few options in order to set the right one. The first is your body composition goals. People who utilize this will typically cycle based on their diet and performance phases. They'll use low carbs when they're on a diet, and they'll use high carbs when they're on performance. The biggest reason I'm not a big fan of this one is typically people who use this are also on cycle dieting. Cycle dieting is not maintained unless you continuously go through cycles of dieting and not dieting for the rest of your life. Once you stop the cycle, the fat returns. This is because, as stated in a previous video, temporary dieting is just not sustainable. Number 2, cycling on training and rest days. Applying this, you'll have higher carb intake on the days you do your resistance training and lower carbs on your rest days. This one can work very well during fat loss and is easy to keep up with. Simple is usually best when trying to set new and sustainable habits. This one will work with any diet as you're just moving your carbs around throughout the week. Therefore, this is the one I would choose to do for myself. Speaking of fat burn, if you're looking for something to help supplement the fat burn from your workouts or diets, please click the first link in the description below the hashtags. Number 3, training intensity. To apply this one, your carb intake goes up as your intensity and duration of your workout goes up. And obviously goes down as your intensity and duration go down. This one's also a valid application if you're trying to lose weight, but it's a little more complicated. This will make it a little bit harder to stick with. You may want to hold off to switching to this cycle until you're a little more advanced in your weight loss journey. There are many other applications of carb cycling, but most of those deal with high performance athletics and or body sculpting, both of which should wait until after your weight loss goals have been reached. So what are the benefits of carb cycling? Carb cycling is based on your biological mechanisms and therefore can be used to maximize carbohydrate impact on your diet. When we intake more carbs, our muscle recovery time is reduced. Our leptin and ghrelin hormones are more effective. We covered leptin and ghrelin in a previous video that should be linked right about here. Increased carbohydrates also increase muscle performance, while the low carb days help us obtain the benefits of low carb diets as well. The low carb days will help us repair and increase our insulin sensitivity. Our bodies will also switch over to using fat as our primary fuel, thus increasing our fat burn. This effect carries over until the next morning's workout, though there are a couple of things that we need to keep in mind when we are carb cycling. Your protein intake should not change regardless of what day it is. This will ensure that your muscles themselves are not utilized as fuel for your bodies. On high carb days, you will intake less fat. On low carb days, you'll actually increase your fat intake. This will help keep your fat utilization more consistent. This has been a brief overview of carb cycling. Overall, carb cycling can be a great benefit to your normal diet, especially if you pick a cycle that's simple so that you can add it to your daily habits. When doing any kind of diet or exercise, it's important to have a group of people to talk to. If you're looking for a weight loss community to help motivate you or to just be there for you along your weight loss journey, please follow us on Facebook and join our Facebook group. Those links are in the description below. With all that said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video.